There we go. Hello. Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone's doing well. But welcome. I am SolarLune. I'm an independent game developer and musician and creator of Tetra 3D, creator of Master Plan. I'm creator of a few things. I was a little cold, so I took some time to get a you know a jacket. Pick up put on this little jacket, this little hoodie. But yeah, hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to the stream. So what I've been working on is this game. Can I get V2, please? It is this game. Airdrift is a 3D game. It's chugging really hard right now just because I was testing something out. I think the problem I've been seeing here, hold on. The problem I've been seeing here with the frame rate dropping has been basically just due to the resolution. So if we go full screen with 1440p, we're looking at like, 55, 54 FPS. If we keep it small, then it's a pretty steady 60. So I'm thinking that basically the FPS issue I'm having, or I've been kind of noticing, isn't so much an FPS issue, so as much as it is a issue of just the resolution, getting kind of kickback from the resolution from rendering, and that's probably because of the rendering process in Tetra 3D. So for now, it seems like Tetra 3D is best suited for low resolution games, probably below 640 by 360, that kind of resolution, or sub 1080p. Yeah, maybe 1080p or below, because of how the resolution has to, or how rendering has to be composited together. So I might look at that today to see if we can make that a little bit more efficient. But yeah, so that's something good to kind of know, learn about. Also, I think because, let me open Tetra 3D here. I think because this might be primarily a low res kind of thing, it might be good to implement that sprite system I was thinking about, where basically the game can render at whatever size. It can be 3D, but we can render 2D sprites in 3D. So it would be a 2D sprite rendered at 100% size, or whatever size you want, but be rendered using depth. So you can like have it behind objects like that, just like a normal sprite, but you don't have to have a full resolution game in order for the sprite to be full resolution, if that makes sense. So we'll see how I end up implementing that. I might give that a shot and see how it looks, see how it shapes up. Yeah, so I think what we're gonna do first, we're probably gonna set the layout, or set the game to have a more restricted camera size. Oh, hold on. In any case, let's go ahead and see what we can do here. Yeah. All right. So first things first, we're probably going to restrict the camera size, or the game size here. So let's bring up some global variables here. Let's say, well, I don't know if I want to put it in the global variables, if I want to put it into global variables, but instead I might just put it here in layout. But let me get some music going. That should be pretty good. All right, so we're gonna set a size of like 540. I guess we could just do it like this. If W is greater than 540, W is 540. If H is greater than let's see, 16, 40, 303, 16, 16.9, so 160, 320, 480, 640. Let's go with 640. 180, 360. All right, let's try something like that. Okay. So yeah, now the frame rate is pretty solid. It's a little bit more what you'd expect. That's good. Let's do a couple things here. First thing we're gonna do is we're probably gonna restrict the perspective. Try to kind of pull it in a little bit so it's not so visually odd. Let's see. All right, it's 45 degree. I think that's pretty good. That actually I could keep this running, but I think something like this plus move it out a little bit. I guess that's fine, you can push. That's pretty good, I think. Pretty good, pretty good. Let's see. Trying to see what I want to do here, how I want it to work. So maybe zoom it out a little bit more. Let's see. I'm trying to see how I want this to work. Also, let me undo this change I made. There we go. I think this is too far out. I think this is too far out from the action. So it could be the field of view can be constricted like that, but it can't be that far back. It has to be somewhat close. This is probably the maximum distance out it could be. Like, this is pretty good, I think. Gives you a pretty good view of the playfield. Let me see something. I want to see something real quick. I'm going to go to resources. I think is it here? Yeah, matte dot. Picture filter mode. Nearest, or linear. I want to see what it would look like if we use linear filtering. Oh, that's so weird, dude. Like, yes, that's weird. That's odd. That's really odd. That's so weird. That's such a weird look. That's weird. All right, hold on. Couple things I want to do. Firstly, let me change the music again. That's good. I'm thinking that, I mean, obviously we have to fix this tiling issue. The tiles, you know, being like kind of blurry on the edges. It's visible in either linear or nearest neighbor filtering methods. So it's, you know, that's not a problem. With that, let's see. Trying to see if I can, what we can do about this kind of like juddering as we move. The pixels kind of like dance a little bit. I wonder if we can kind of restrain that. Let's see. So this is Tetra 3D. Yeah, I wonder. I think this is the area that I'm thinking of. Yeah. What if we didn't? Is it P0? Okay. What if we didn't constrain it to ints? Actually, if I just do that and save, no, it doesn't. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Definitely smoother. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Let's turn off nearest neighbor filtering real quick. I'm sorry, linear filtering real quick. Yeah, I never noticed. Dang, that's a huge difference. Yeah, that's a huge difference. If we lock the position down, it's very jittery. Yeah, that's not good. We definitely don't want that. Okay, so we can that's something cool we can do to make it look a little bit smoother. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, that's really smooth. That's solid. Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's fix that debug text real quick. It's way too large. There we go. That did not fix it because that wasn't all of it. There we go, that's better. This feels pretty good. I feel like this zoom level, the perspective, it's not bad. I kind of wonder if I should do like height level fog for this, for this game specifically, or just, you know, as an option, because that way I could have it fade out a little bit more interestingly. because it fading out over distance is like all right, but it doesn't look very good. Actually, let me double check this to see if is it set to no, yeah, the transparency size is 1. I think that's fine. Alter Ego says, hey, SolarLune, hello. And Music Boy J Boy, hello to the both of you. Yeah, I'm wondering if height-based fog would look better, because that would just allow, you know, for more like, because it looks a little weird fading out in the distance like that. I feel like it would be better if it kind of faded out, you know, vertically. Let me think. I wonder if that's worth the effort to try to implement. Let's try a couple things here. I want to try. What if we just try straight up overwrite transparency firstly? I want to see what that looks like again. Yeah, see, I kind of like that. I kind of like that look. I think that, because see, part of the issue that the reason why I'm thinking about this is this platform, the gray of this platform here and the gray of this platform that's moving is basically the exact same shade. So unless even with you know, perspective, it's not very clear as to where things are. It's a little easier like that where you know, it's a further distance. But I kind of feel like if the fog was based off of height, it would be more it'd be clearer, and I feel like that would be kind of an interesting thing to implement. I actually don't really know how I would even implement that though, because once you render the triangles, there's no way to know where the position of the triangle is. Like using fog, right? We have depth, but we don't have Y position of the pixel. I guess we could get the Y position using the angle of the camera. Let me think. If we wanted the fog to be height based, how would we do that? Height based, height based, height based, height based. Butler Studio says height beast. Height beast, height beast. Okay, it is fading out. I was wondering if this platform was fading out. At the bottom it is. Yeah, I don't think we have the necessary information to get that to work. I think once it renders, it's just going to have the depth map. And there's no way to pass the necessary information. Yeah, this is just depth. It doesn't have the Y position. So we would have to render render this using a different value. We'd have to make another render of the scene just for Y position. That's not really feasible. I guess we could render the scene from above. But again, that's not really feasible. So let's not do that. Let's not go with that approach. I guess what I'll do is I might just have a flat plane that's like clouds or something to just obscure it. Yeah, I guess we can do that. Let's try that. A simple solution, maybe not the best solution, but a solution. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna add a plane. We're gonna size it up. Yeah, just until it's covering it. We'll move it down like that. We don't have to. Okay, that's not to increment. Maybe like right around 1, 2, 3, something like that. Parent it. The camera, and we'll call this a depth layer. Save. Okay, so now there should be like a white. Yeah. Okay, so let's move it up a little bit. And subdivide it. Something like that. There we go. Yeah. So that's the general idea. So now we can probably just go like, whoops. Now we can just be like, yo, give me like an additive. There we go. Give me a depth layer, make it shadeless, make it additive, and give it like a very dark color. And that might be enough to give us just a little sense of depth. Completely messed up the background. I guess because it's additive on top of the background. Yeah, that's what's happening. Alpha should be 0. Okay, we'll have to fix that. But the general idea, I think, should work. We'll just go with like something like that. Just a little bit of a dark color. I think this should, yeah, that gives us a little bit of extra depth. So then when we walk down there, now it's more crisp and we can understand it. We can visually understand it a little better. Now, it's not the smoothest effect, but it does work. Well, the idea is solid. I don't know if I actually like it. Let's fix a couple things here. First problem that we need to fix is the additive color. It's definitely not working properly. I think that is... I'm actually not sure where... Oh, maybe it should be alpha blend. Maybe that's part of it. It was opaque previously. Maybe it should be alpha blend? No. Why is it? Let's see. Alpha blend, alpha clip, additive, clear. Let's see. Yes, clear. Additive. I guess it makes sense that additive does work the way it does. I guess I wouldn't want it to work any other way, huh? Let's see. Like, I feel like it's adding to the alpha, and we don't want that, but That's fine. This doesn't look very good in the first place, so that's okay. We can get rid of it. That's fine. But I do think some kind of depth is a good idea. I'll have to revisit that later. I'm not sure. I'm not sure quite how to deal with that. But I do think that we'll probably need some method to draw things at 100% and have it like be mixed into the scene properly. Eboat Right says, looking awesome. Thank you very much. So we have our car here. It's a 2D sprite. It's in 3D, of course, but it would be nice if it wasn't like scrunched down. It kind of feels scrunched down. It'd be nice if we could draw it at 100% accuracy, because if you scrunch it down at all, then you're losing. It doesn't look right, right? Like as an example, if we go to our sprites, we go to the characters. You know, this is how he looks. The sprite looks at 100%, and if you scale it down even a little bit, you get, you know, not 100%. It doesn't quite look right. So what I'd like to add is some sort of API that I can use to basically say, hey, instead of drawing, let me see, is there a draw function here? No, it's just update. I think it's just update. Instead of drawing the sprite normally, we want to draw the sprite using Ebitingen in 2D, but we want to basically blend it in with depth. We want to cut depth out of it. Now, let's take a look at Tetra 3D's draw loop, because I want to see, is there some way I can do that? I feel like there's a utility for this, but I'm trying to see if there's something we can do about that. So that would be done with probably this section, depth intermediate. Depth intermediate size. Okay, so we're drawing triangles, images, result. I see. Okay, so we do this, right, and then we do this. Okay. Okay, what I might end up doing, because I can't think of a way to really easily slot this in, I mean, I guess wait, hold on. What if we went to model, not cells, we could say, like, if it's a sprite, then, well, we can't do it that way. So we process the vertices, and then we clip the vertices. We don't need to do either if we already know where it's drawing. Just give me a second. I'm kind of like thinking, question mark? All right. So what I'm thinking is we could add a toggle in Blender for an object, which in this case would be our player sprite. And the billboarding mode would be like sprite, where if it's set to sprite, then it will take the texture and draw that at the position of the object in 2D. Yeah, that's the idea. So billboarding, yeah. So it's essentially you can't have billboarding with this idea. It's no longer existing in 3D. Essentially, it's a 2D image being drawn. It doesn't spin. It doesn't rotate. That's handled offline, so to speak. So if we set it to sprite, if we implemented this and we set it to sprite, then when we go to model, yeah, when we go here, if the billboard mode is set to sprite, we just quit early. We don't process the vertices. And then camera, once we go here, we say, okay, where are we at? We don't sort the triangles. We don't do backface culling. Because we already know where it's going to draw. I don't even know if we... I gotta think. I'm thinking, I feel like I'm kind of, there's two ways to do this. One way is to make a function that basically will draw a sprite on screen and cut it out using the depth texture. That's one method. Oh, wait. Yeah. Wait, no. Okay, yeah. So we can either make a function that draws a sprite for us, or we can make Tetra 3D draw a sprite for us. We can't just tweak it directly because it's set up to draw things using triangles, which we don't want to mess with if we don't have to. Like, drawing triangles is one way to do it, but you can just draw an image. That's what I would basically do, is draw an image. Because if we draw things using triangles, well, I guess we could do... There's a couple ways we could do this, now that I think about it. Transparency mode, alpha clip. I'm just thinking, just thinking, hold on. John tries placing over his list. Draw trend shader. Okay. I think we want to do this in such a way where we have as little change as possible. Alter Ego says, I often spend more time thinking than typing when I'm programming. Yeah, I think it depends on the problem. This is a very, like, how do I want it to work problem, more so than like a implementation issue. I feel like it's just like how should it work? How does everything kind of, you know, work together? I feel like I want to make it so that it slots in kind of effortlessly, this idea. So like if you have, you know, we have our shader system and stuff like that working the way it does, we don't want to like make it so that if you choose this 100% sprite option, all that goes out the window. So I think what I want to do P0, P1. I think what I want to do sorting triangles. think I want to process vertices such that if the material is set to billboard, is set to this sprite mode, then we that's true. That also is true. Man, I'm kind of like a little bit at a loss. I'm a little bit at a loss as to how exactly this should work. So we want to draw something and have it cut out. Ideally, we want to draw it at a fixed size. So basically, we just want to draw something at a fixed size. It doesn't matter what it is. In this case, it's our player sprite, but it could be anything. So we just want to draw something at a fixed size. So we could have this, but have the scale. We can't really make the scale be like an inverse of the distance to the camera because it's perspective, right? So the size depends on the focal length of the camera if it's a perspective camera. It would be good if we could have it set to have billboarding mode, have a like sprite mode, and then have a fixed size where it's like, oh, it's 32 pixels large on screen or 64 pixels large on screen. That would be good, but I can't figure out how to convert, like how to come up with those numbers. It's possible that after we process the vertices, we could do this in clip to screen, where we basically just scale the vertices. But obviously that won't work. P0, P1, P2. That's where they are on screen. Yeah, can't come up with anything. So what I might end up doing, just make this a little easier for myself. Because we don't need to draw it on the depth texture, right? We just need to draw... Alter Ego says, is the width and height of the sprite a percentage of the screen dimensions? I mean, yeah. The width and height of any sprite is a percentage of the screen dimensions. But... we can't... Wait, are you right? Is that it? The width and height of the sprite is a percentage of the screen dimensions. So... if we say we want to display this thing at 32 by 32, let's say, then we process the vertices, and then we have these values, P0, P1, and P2, that represent the points on screen of the vertices of the triangle. Those are the positions where the triangle vertices are post transformation. So that's where they quote unquote physically are on your screen in pixels. So we could then divide those numbers by the screen size. Then divide your target size. No, that won't work. That won't work. That won't work. What if I did this as ignorantly as possible? So, oh, not that one. I'm looking for result color texture dot draw rect shader. That does not. NHT. Yeah. Okay. So. Oh. Oh. But it doesn't take a shader. This doesn't. Okay. So it would have to be draw a triangle shader. So then we would pass in the vertices. Pass in the shader, which would be... Oh no, we would just draw the triangles on screen, right? We don't care about the... There's no shader. Because this... This is what does what we're looking for, color shader. Color shader. It's this. This is what does fog. This is what does depth. Okay. All right. All right. I finally figured it out. This isn't that hard. Now I finally figured it out. So what we're really looking for here is like right here. Right in here. We can basically draw a sprite. The music just shut off. It's weird. How strange. It was weird. Okay. I haven't listened to that in a while. All right, so I think this is really where we want, where I finally figured it out. It's not hard. I don't know why I was mentally confused. But basically, here we can draw to the color intermediate buffer. And we can just draw triangles. And we can pass in basically just four vertices and 6 indices to draw the sprite at the position we want with the size we desire. That's really it. That's really it. We pass in the texture that we're trying to draw. Options. I don't think we need any options. So, or at least we can leave that up to the developer, to us, the developer. So I think what we want to do, we can make this a function, but we need to draw onto the color intermediate and then draw onto the result color texture. Hold on, this speed is low. I don't remember it doing this. Yeah, it changed. Okay. Yeah, it's different. All right, this is good. This is a good chill one. All right, all right. Yeah, so we can just make a function that does this. Yeah. So let's try it. Let's try it. This should, now I finally am like where I think I can pretty easily do this. So image in 3D. So it takes an image, which is an ableton.image, takes a position, vector.vector. It takes draw options, which is draw triangle options. Okay. So it does this last. We flush width and height are this. Red shader options, right shader. Okay, let's see. See. Okay, so fog range, dither size, bear matrix. Okay, so this is good. So this draws that triangle. All right, so here is where we do this. This is really the main thing. Image. So we're drawing the triangles. Yeah, we're drawing the triangles to the intermediate buffer, and then we draw the result color texture as necessary. Yes. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this a shot here. Now the vertices, so EX to camera dot position. What is it? World to screen. There we go. So position. Alright, so then we want to draw it. Let's see. Let me think. So you set the position, and I guess we also do width and height like that. That might be a good idea. Because then we can say vertex. Yes, x is going to be px 0 minus w divided by 2. Dx is float 32? Yeah, okay. Altergo says, I like that crystal-like sound. Oh, thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, so here's where it gets a little weird. All right, this is gonna be a little weird. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna define these vertices beforehand, along with the indices, because those are always the same. The vertices and indices are always the same. It's just the X and Y position that changes. So we're gonna define this up here. We're gonna say sprite image vertices vertex Sprite image indices is you went 32, is that right? You went 16. All right. So we're gonna define it here. Press cam. Here we go. Okay, so we're just gonna do it like this. Let's actually hold on. There we go. All right. So the destination X and Y are always the same. The source X and Y should always be the same. Are these in pixels? The point on a source image. Let's see. 32. Yeah. Oh, that stinks. Okay. All right, no big deal. So we're just gonna do it like this. This is all the data that we'll have then. So X, Y, Z. Okay, so that's those 4 vertices, and then the indices are gonna be this. U in 16. We're gonna assume that we're gonna go something like 0, 1, 2, and then like is it 0, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2? I think that should be good. So that's going to be what we're going to pass for this. So camera.color intermediate texture draw triangles. We want to use camera.sprite inverts, camera.sprite image indices. We want to use the texture, and then we want to use any options that we specify. Now, okay, now this is where we do this part. Sprite inverts 0.desx was this. All right, so that's that. I'm trying to think of, actually this should be 0. It should be 1, it should be 2. Wait. No new variables on. Oh. Okay, minus width. Yeah, okay, that's fine. WH is the width and height. We don't actually need a width and height. I guess that's the target width and height. All right, so that should be good. And then the indices are always the same. Image is the same. Opt's fine. I think this should be good. We can move clear down here. And then I think we're done. I think that's kind of it. Yeah. I think we're good. Alter Ego says, how did you learn to compose your own music? It's something I would like to do, but I don't know where to start. Well, my brother helped me out a lot. Also, I just realized my camera's covering part of the thing here. Let me move it. But my brother helped me out a lot with music when I was, growing up, when I was a kid. But overall, music is something that you just get better at the more you do. So, just practice. It really is just practice. Um, yeah. Like listen to music that you like and try to make music like that. I think I have my very first song that, not very first, but one of the first songs that I put onto SoundCloud years ago. Like I never deleted it. I delete other stuff between that first one and now if I need space or anything like that. So like I'll delete other stuff, but I want to keep my original song that I ever, like one of the first songs I ever put out there, at least onto SoundCloud. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Here we go. I'll turn it up a little bit. So that's not very good. Like it's all right. It's like it's gonna be all right, but it's it's not like great. It's all right. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's like it's just fine. But over time, I feel like I've gotten significantly better. Where even kind of a similar kind of song where it's just like a video game loop. This isn't really chiptune, but it's a lot better in my opinion. Yeah, like that's so much more jazz. There's so much more experimental and doing stuff is so much more. It's just better. And I the difference between me now and me then isn't really like I went to music school or something like that. It's just that was 10 years ago. So it's just take time, like, and I don't make music very often. Sometimes I'll make music and I'll have like a month or a couple of weeks where I make it really kind of heavily, and then there'll be months where I just don't pick up the keyboard, where I just listen to my old songs or listen to different kinds of music. So if you are like steadily making music every day or every other day, you could probably get really really good in like 3 years, 2 years. Like it's not, it doesn't take long for you to get to the point where you're even to the point of being like good. If you are like, oh, I don't even want to be like professional, I just want to be able to make something that sounds like Mega Man, or that sounds like Super Mario World, or something that sounds like a film score from a movie. Like you're not looking for to be professional. You're not looking for like to be exemplary, but you're just looking to sound adequate in your opinion. Just that could be like 9 months of just consistent music, of just making music every other day, every day. So like I think that's the most important thing is practice, and kind of like listening to songs that you like, and listening to a variety of songs and seeing like, oh, this is what makes this song do the thing I like. Like if you can identify, you know, I'm listening to this like alternative rock song and I really like this breakdown. and you can identify why you like it, which is, maybe the drums do this specific pattern, or the drums are giving this kind of rhythm or this rolling tempo, where it's not just like do 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 do, but it's do 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 do, something like that. It's like, okay, I can identify it's not just the drums hitting like this, they're hitting with a specific rhythm, or they're hitting with a specific cadence, like a specific energy on specific hits. If you can identify those things, then put them into practice and try making rhythms like that, try making chords like that. Then in like 6 months or a year, you'll be pretty good. Would I recommend any music making software? Renoise, really. I love Renoise. It's a great tool. Sunbox is also really good, really good. So for free tools, probably Sunvox, LMMS, Linux music making software, which is kind of like Fruity Loops, but free and open source. Fruity Loops, Reason. If you're looking for free tools, I would probably say like Sunvox, LMMS, even on Windows and Mac, I believe they run there. It runs there. I think there's like Defl Mask if you want to do like chiptunes, Defl Mask, or there's other trackers like can't remember the name of it, but there's a couple of really good ones. A lot of people do stuff with Milky Tracker, or the one on Game Boy that everyone used to use back in the chiptune scene. But yeah, there's a lot of great music making software. If you're looking for just a general tool, I like Renoise, but if you are looking for just a general music making software that can kind of do everything, Reason is really good. Fruity Loops, people do a lot of good stuff with Fruity Loops as well. So there's a lot of good stuff out there. Logic, of course, or Pro Tools, people use that professionally. So there's a lot of good tools, but I personally like Renoise. It's simple, it's cheap, it's like $80 in comparison to other tools, which are in the hundreds of dollars. $80 isn't that hard of a sell, in my opinion, especially if you like tracker software, tracker tools for making music. There's not very many out there in terms of professional trackers. Like that's basically the only one that I know of is Renoise. Every other one is like more graphical, like Bitwig or Reason or Fruity Loops or something like that. Bitwig is also something to check out if you have the money. It's kind of expensive, but it's very interesting. It's probably the newest like professional music software that I've run across that seems like, oh wow, that looks really cool, and it looks new, it looks fresh. Anyway, back to this. So I think this should kind of get us where we're trying to go. I believe so. We'll give it a shot and see if it does what we kind of hope it does. I guess we'll do this in a kind of a vacuum here before we try it out in a full thing, our full game. I want to see, because it's probably not going to work, so I want to see how it looks, simplified. All right, so it's 3 sprites where we're going to work with examples. Oh, this is the wrong folder. Where's simple at? Here we go. Yeah, that's fine spelling. Okay. Oh yeah. Can we upgrade these dependencies? Alter Ego says, "I thank you. I appreciate it." No problem. No problem at all. Okay. Cool. So, oh, that won't work, will it? Because it won't have any depth value. I completely forgot about the depth value. How is this going to work without depth? Actually, I think that's probably a little bit, well, that's probably This might not work after all, because when we go to draw this, we can draw it, but without depth, how's it gonna render? Like where will it be? It doesn't know. Hmm. Because we're drawing it into the color intermediate there, and then we're drawing it into the result. And it takes color intermediate and depth intermediate. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're going to. Okay, I guess actually this might work, because I think px2. I think when we get the world to screen, I think it should return. Oh, is it just 3 dimensions? Oh yeah, the third dimension should be depth, hopefully. So we'll see. We'll see. This might work. This might work. It may work. It may work yet. If it does, if depth is stored in the third dimension of this vector, then we might be able to just fill the depth intermediate texture with a straight. Oh, we can't fill it with a straight color, can we? We might be able to do this a couple ways. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So first things first. Let's see. Main 3D sprite. Okay. Give me a sprite here. Give me a sprite. Where are my sprites? Let's go with this heart. All right, so draw. This is all well and good. Okay. All right, so here's the function. Now we want to grab the image that we want to draw. We will do that with. Why am I doing it like this? Here we go. All right, so we will just go with heart.png. Right, and then here we're going to go to here, new image from util, new image from reader, I guess is what we want. Can we? I don't think we can pass the heart image directly, right? No. Okay. So bytes.new reader heart image reader. Okay. All right. So heart sprite. What is it? Image, blank image. Okay, cool. All right, so does this run? Yes. All right, so the idea that we have here is we should be able to draw this heart in 3D in 2D. So this is going to be quite interesting if it works. It won't work. We already know it won't work, but that's fine. Let's say we want to draw it with a position of 0, 0, 0, well, 2, 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0. With the height of 32 by 32, we have this scene. We don't have any options to pass. Let's see. All right, it screwed up the text. That's great. That's cool. Let's see. So it's drawing on the result, huh? It's drawing on the result. Does it have to? It doesn't have to draw on the result, huh? Really, we just wanted to draw on the color intermediate with a shader that, yeah. So I guess we can do this a couple of different ways, but I guess the easiest way to do this would be to make a shader that just allows us to basically discard the pixels of the sprite that, like, draw the sprite to the, well, I guess, well, let me think, hold on. So I guess we could do it like this: image, screen, world position, target width and height, scene. Do we need the scene? We don't need the scene anymore. We're not going to do that. Well, I mean, we could. No, we don't need that because we're not going to do it this way. We're not doing it this way. We only need the result depth, actually. But that means that we can't just draw the triangles anymore. All right, here's what we're going to do. Uh, 2D sprite, 2D and 3D. All right, so we're not going to do any of that. We're not going to do any of this. But we should, dude. We should. We totally should. Yeah, we don't want to lose functionality. So let's keep it the way it is. We're drawing the triangles to here. We do have scene. We don't have a screen because we're drawing it to the result texture. Okay, this should work then. Let me see. Or at least it may work. But hey, once this works, it's gonna be pretty sick. It's gonna be pretty sick. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Oh no! Whoops. Sorry, it's loud. I forgot about that. There we go. Here we go. Okay. Something calming. All right. Vaporwave says, "Do I hear loud FM?" I apologize. I'm sorry. Okay. So the idea here, I think it's pretty good. We take the sprite, we're drawing it at this position. We want it to be 32 by 32. That's right, depth. That's what the issue was. Oh, well, we have to do this before we draw the color texture. Right, okay. All right, no change, but that's good. And we're drawing it to the color texture, right? Yeah. All right, so I think what we need to do now is something like this. Yeah, it's not working either way. Let me see something. Hold on. Let's try this first. I want to see something real quick. Color, immediate. just want to see, is this drawing like, is it rendering in the first place? Is it rendering correctly? It doesn't seem like it. So 553 by 224, is that correct? Width and height. Oh, okay. Well, that might be part of it. So we can't go with the... Well, the camera should... Yeah, what's the camera... Okay, well, the camera has the width and height. Why is the... Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Okay. No, this is correct. Because if I draw it at position 0, at the origin, it should be dead center. Okay. Depth is 4. Okay, let's see. Clear, immediate, clear, immediate, drop triangles. Might be this that's the issue. Wait, why don't I just draw the... Yeah, why don't I just draw the image? I can just draw the image like this. Excuse me. And then opgon.translate ex0 ex1. I mean, really, we don't need this anymore, target width or height, because you have the draw image options. Dime Carl says, hello guys, what distro is he using? This is Fedora. Thank you for engaging. Yeah, well, I'm not using this anymore. Alright. So I think this is a better approach. We don't need... I don't know why I thought this would be necessary. We don't need any of this anymore, I think. I'm just simplifying this. Oh, Good Time Carl says I use it too. It's rock solid. Yeah, it is. I like it a lot. It's not perfect, but it's definitely up there. Well positioned. Scene. Okay. Crash. Let's see. Oh. Okay, so there's the heart. So that's cool. Now what we want to do, so we're drawing the color intermediate, drawing the image, which we can just do with this. That. And then we're gonna like blend it to the result color texture like this. Draw a right shader. Okay, so this is the same. Yes. Okay, so Bill. Let's see. Okay, so here's where it gets a little a little weird. If this is working right, then what we need to do is we need to encode the depth of the sprite using the depth returned here. I think this is the depth, right? I think it's either this or this. So I think it's probably the third value. So let's try, for example, pushing it forward by 2 blender units toward the camera. All right, let's try pushing it back away from the camera. All right, yes. So now what we want to do is we want to encode the depth using this function. Alter Ego says, what time do you usually go to sleep each night? That is a good question. It depends. Like it just depends straight up. Oh no, don't tell me there's no fract, dude. Let's see. Is that just minus the... Oh, mod F? Hold on, let me see here. Returns x minus floor x. So I guess we could just do that. But I think mod f is supposed to do that, right? Is mod f supposed to do that? Returns the integer and fractional floating points. Okay, so then... Turn. Oh, I guess it has to be a color. Okay. Right? Like, can we go with RGBA 16? You went 16? I don't like that, dude. Do they not have a normal color? They don't have a normal color. Fine. Okay. So, okay, back to your question. My sleeping schedule is terrible, and it's affecting my ability to think and program during the day. I mean, like, if you know it's bad, then you need to go to sleep earlier. Like, basically, I'm sorry to hear that, because it's like my sleeping schedule is kind of bad too, and I need to get it reined in. Sometimes I'll go to sleep super late. Sometimes I'll go to sleep on, like, very rarely will I go to sleep on time. And by on time, I'm thinking like 11, 12, 1. Like 12 to 1 is like when I should be going to bed. Usually I sleep at like 2 or 3. It's ridiculous. So I need to, I'm like you. I need to, clean it up. All right. So I think this should kind of get us where we want to go. I guess I'll just do this because I don't want to have to do this. New color, RGB1 dot. Or I guess we could just return a color. Okay. All right. So I think. I can't stress this enough. I think this should work. Encode depth And we want to use px2 dot RGB64. I think this should work. I think. Now we moved the heart closer, so let's push it back to 0. If it's working, the heart should disappear. It did not work. All right, so let's go ahead and can we draw the depth type intermediate? I want to see what that looks like. If that looks like what we think it should look like. It's orange. That is incorrect. Maybe it's correct. Maybe it's correct. Let's try this. Let's try this. Do we have time? No. Okay. Yeah. Let's just do it like this. Okay, so we'll have depth start off at being 2. And then go away from the camera. Yeah. The depth is changing, but I feel like it's... Yeah, I'm sorry. Apparently this is going to be a... What's... This is going to be a seizure warning. I didn't know that this was going... I didn't know what this would look like. I'm sorry. Yeah, apologies. It's very bright. Pretty much the same as me. I'm sorry you suffer from this as well, but it makes me feel a bit better to know someone as cogent as you also sleeps late. I don't know about cogent, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I'm in existence. We'll just put it like that. I exist. I don't know about cogency. Makes it sound like I'm good at what I do. I wish this wasn't so bright, but we got to see if it does fade. It shouldn't be so red. This is incorrect. It's got to be blue heading toward red as it goes, I think. Is this fractional getting what I think it should be getting? Let's see. RGB. Math that floor. Let me take a look here. I think this depth function is incorrect. Encode depth. Floor 255 times depth divided by 255. Mod F. Oh, no, yeah. G is floor. Lucretia says, "What's up, Solar?" Hello, how's it going? G is floor. F times 255. Times 255 divided by 255. B is F. I'm writing my own scripting language. So far I have expressions working with ints, floats, and strings. Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. I'm trying to get this sprite. I'm trying to basically draw a sprite in 2D, but in 3D. So I'm trying to draw a sprite in 2D in, your screen with Ebiton, like a normal sprite. But I want to cut out from that sprite the depth of the 3D scene. So you can have a normal 2D sprite that's like cut out by a 3D object. Right now I'm debugging depth, and it's I'm trying to make it work. it's very bright. It's a seizure warning. Apologies. Wait, is it decoding depth? No. We're encoding it. So I feel like the math is the same here. Map that floor depth times 255 divided by 255. That's right. Mod F. Returns integer and fractional floating point numbers that sum to F. Okay, that sounds exactly like what we're looking for. Depth times 255. So F. Divided by 255. Okay. B is mod F. Depth. Alright, so this all sounds fine. This all looks correct. So it might be that it's not PX2, it might be PX3. That's the depth. We'll see. Hopefully this won't be ugly, right? Let's see. It's just one. Oh. 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 Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, now I see what I was doing wrong. So PX2 is the depth, but it needs to be basically normalized, or not normalized, but it needs to be kind of clipped. Is it in here? No, it's down here. Here we go. So I think this is what we're looking for. So it's px2. I guess we could just say divided by equals far plus margin. So far is, well, far is camera.far plus margin 1. All right, this might give us a little bit better of a result. That's a better result. That's a better result. Let's print out the result. Let's print out the depth that we think we should be getting. But I think we might got it. I think we might actually have what we're looking for. Like this might actually be it, which is kind of wild. All right, so can we make this move a little faster too? Because the depth starts at 2, positive 2, and we're moving back. The near is 0.1, and the far. Let's set it so that the near it starts at 0. The near is because we moved back on 5. Let's start the depth at 5 and subtract 0.2 from it. All right. Why is depth so... What the heck? Why is the depth... Alright, so let's see here. So the depth starts at 5-ish. Why is the depth so high? World to screen. World position. Do we not need to do this? I thought we did. Let me see. Okay. So it starts off at... Yeah, why is the depth so high? Am I Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Hold on. So we transform it, then clip to screen. Is that gives us the depth in P in the second portion, right? Oh, it's just the transforms. Oh. But no. This should still be depth. Okay. Maybe it's already been normalized? Let's see. So it starts off at 5, and depth is -44, -19, -7, -4, -3, -2, -1. 0. 0 at basically 4.0 on the dot. Why is it 0 then? Then at 0, it's 4.05. All right. Um, yeah, this isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right. Camera. Because the camera is like looking dead center down the thing, right? Yeah, camera dot move. So it moved 5 back, 5 toward us. So now, if an object is at 0, well, I guess we could just do it like this. Let's say the depth is 0. Let's not adjust the depth. Why is the depth 4.05? Clip to screen. 0, 1, 2 is vert 2. Divided by vert 3, be 3. Vert 3, be 3, vert 3. Out back. That's part of it. So. World to clip. Clip to screen. Why is it 4.05? Okay. Let's try this. .5. Or why did I do it like this? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, that should be that. I see. Okay. Yeah, I'm still not sure why I did this actually though. Why didn't I just do this? And then just do this. Not a number. Its depth though high. I feel like I'm like right there. Like I'm literally so close. Two divided by V3. Rapid vertex transforms. 2 divided by far is margin. Oh, it's the mesh. I mean, I guess we could just do that. That might be the easiest way to do it, now that I think about it. All right, this might give us a little bit of a run for our money. Let's see. All right, so now we got 2.0, and then we would say depth. This margin. Okay, this might give us a little bit of a better result, at least for the meantime. All right, depth. 0 should be 0.5 at 0. It is 0.09. That is incorrect. Might be that this ordering is incorrect. Let's see. VP is VP, matrix VP is Which order is it? Is view matrix multiplied by projection? That's what I have here. Okay. That's good. Alderio says, would you ever code a project in C++? I mean, maybe. I don't think I like C++, you know, right now, but I mean, I could very well give it a shot. Man, this is really eating up my my momentum. But that's okay. That's okay. So we know that the x and y position is correct. The depth value here and here are both incorrect. Actually, the margin might be throwing it off now that I think about it. With such a small depth value, that might be not helping. So 0.1 at a value of 0. That's close enough. Let's see if it holds. -5 has a depth value of 0.2. That is incorrect. What about normal 5? Positive 5. Depth value of 0. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Alter says, I mainly use C++. It's definitely not the simplest language, but I find it incredibly expressive. Yeah, I mean, like, you can definitely do a lot with it. People really like C++ a lot, but yeah, I think I just prefer simpler languages where it's just like, maybe you can't do as much with them, but they're not as complicated. I like languages that are just kind of like, there's one way to do it, and, you know, it's a good way, or it's fine. It works fine. I feel like I'm on the right track here. So we got the matrix, we multiply it by the world position. The depth. Let me see here. Let me see something. So the depth is 0. Depth is 2. This might be as good as I can get it. Let me see something. I'll set the far to be 100. Depth is still 2. That's 20. 20 divided by 100, that's 0. This is so weird. Like, it's not working at all how it seems like it should be working. Like, this is how, like, do I not know math? did I not code this? Oh, maybe it's not this one. Maybe it's this one. Let's try this. Hold on. That's better. That's better. That's better. That's better. I think that might have been it. It should be like 0.4. That's not quite right, but I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's see. What am I looking for? I'm looking for. Let's see. It's 5. Yeah. So let's see. Should definitely be like. Yeah, that's pretty good. What if it was 9.5? It should be like negative. Negative 5. Negative 4. Negative 1. Oh, right. I meant negative. Yeah. All right. I'm going to say this is basically correct. I'm going to say this is basically correct, I think. I think this is roughly correct. Like, this should be, yeah, I mean, that's close enough where I feel like it would be kind of accurate. What about, like, 0? It should be roughly 0.5-ish. Yeah, I mean, like, like, you could hear I'm just like, I guess, yeah, kind of. All right, this is jank, but this might be as close as I can get it right now. All right. So, did that not help at all? I think it might not have helped at all. Hold on. Let me think. Two. Let's see. -2. Yeah, -2. But no, it definitely should have. Hold on. Because this is the depth. Let's see. So if it's closer to the camera, it should be bluer. I feel like I'm on the right track though. I feel like I'm pretty close. It's just a matter of like getting it exactly tuned. Yeah, that's not right. There's like nothing in that first section. No information for depth. Yeah, this isn't right. This isn't working properly. How does a pointing? Yeah, that's completely incorrect. if it... Okay, what we're gonna do is this. Let's do a couple things here. What? Excuse me? Oh, okay. Was this an error? Okay. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna try something. We're gonna try. I guess we'll just do like 0.5. We're gonna try to visualize this so we can kind of get an idea of how this is working. Okay. So we're going to take something like that. Negative 0.08. All right, I'm going to just assume that it's not a problem. I think this is like my code here is incorrect, and it's always been incorrect, and I'm just now finding out about it. That's why I'm like so like shook. Draw image in 3D. Okay. So if this is working, then depth percentage should be pretty much correct. And we just basically say if depth is less than 0, depth is 0, depth greater than 1, depth 1. So the depth percentage increases until it goes to 1 eventually. Okay, and now we fill it with the encoded depth. No idea if this is, I don't think this is going to work. Yeah. But it might also like never work. Like it might be that this won't work no matter what. Let's see. Width and height. Camera dot color, shader, right, shader out. Color intermediate is what we have. Depth intermediate is filled. Go depth is color and fill it. So I guess we don't have to clear it, we can just fill it. Fill it with this, and then I feel like this should give some kind of result. I think that's the thing that's maybe like making me most upset. I mean, I'm not upset, but like that's the toughest thing is like this should work. I feel like, but for whatever reason it's not, because like the depth percentage is there. Okay, yeah, this is where it should be. This is never getting covered up based off depth. Shader options. This should definitely work. Depth value. Does this not exist? Encode depth. Oh, it's just encode depth. Excuse me. Maybe that might be part of it. Let's see. Yeah, that might have been part of it. Let me see. Maybe? Maybe that's part of it? Nah. Let's see. Code that. Like, only R is really working correctly. Like, everything else is not. Maybe my code here is incorrect. Depth times 255 divided by 255. Oh, dude. I think I figured it out this entire time. I think what I needed to do was... Oh, well, that's not helping, actually. Now that I think about it, it should be depth. Yeah, that was my bad. Oh, wait, what was I printing out? Yeah, it should be depth. It's not helping. That might help. That might solve it. Let me see. No. Okay. But this is a little better. That's definitely better. That's definitely better. These depth values are definitely more correct. Yeah, that's a lot better. Yeah, that's a lot better. All right. Well, let me just see this real quick. I want to see what the depth values look like. Yeah, flashing warning. That's definitely correct, dude. That's exactly what it should look like. More or less. But we don't use PX2 anywhere anymore, right? No. Okay. Color intermediate draw image. Depth intermediate fill. Let's see. If depth.a is this is it. If depth.a is greater than 0. This is not the shader I thought it was. This entire time I thought this was a different... Oh, yeah, that's true. That's why that won't work, will it? Alright, I see what the issue is. Oops. I think I need another shader. There's no scene in here, right? There is. Okay. All right, I think I see what the issue is. I'm just straight up using the wrong shader. Just trying to figure out what to do here. All right. I think I need to. This can be down here. Just supposedly. I think I do need to draw it to the color intermediate buffer, but then I need a new shader that basically does this. Rect shader options, images 0 should be the color intermediate. We don't need another. I guess we do need the. Yeah, I was just straight up not thinking. Okay. Result depth texture. Rect shader options dot uniforms. All right, so we're, I think, on the cusp of this working. All right, now I'm kind of getting a second wind. I feel like I'm getting there. I feel like I'm getting there. So what we want to do is just basically this. Actually, let's use this one, I guess. This is going to be sprite shader text, and then sprite 3D shader. All right. So the existing depth is here. Texture's there. If depth value, if existing depth is equal to 0, or decode depth existing depth greater than all right. Return texture. Return texture. Yes. Okay. All right. So I think we're on the right track. I think we're on the right track. I guess we don't. No, we could just do this. I think we're on the right track. I think we're on the right track. Depth. It wants it to be a... All right. Better. Oh, 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 oh. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is... It took me so long to work out. It's drawing... Hold on. Okay, that makes sense, because drawing... No, wait. Why is it drawing below? Oh, because the cube is in the way. Dude, that's dope! That's so dope! Oh! Oh! That's disgusting. That is a 2D sprite that exists in 3D. Most engines can't quite do that. They probably can, but I mean, like, this is something else. This is something else entirely. Okay, so just to clean up and to make sure that this is working the way we kind of want it to, let's make the depth test. Invisible, so you can see the heart. Finally. That's clean, dude. That's clean. That is clean, boy. That is clean, man. Boy, that is clean, boy. That is clean, son. Yo, that's clean, boy. All right. That's clean. That's really good. That's really good. Oh, it's pixel perfect. That's the thing that's just like, it's wonderful. It's so like crisp. It's pixel perfect. It's a pixel perfect sprite, and then it goes in 3D. It's three-dimensional. That is excellent. Fantastic. Fantastic. It's not a 3D plane, it is a pixel perfect sprite. So zooming in and out doesn't affect the way this displays. So that was 2.5 hours of pure torture because I just did not know. I didn't see, I wasn't reading, it was just bad. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna close out, but before I do, I want to see if I can get this working in the game. I gotta think. Hold on. I'm gonna do this as dirtily as possible, just so I can see if it works. Set visible false false. Sprite dot mesh dot move. Mesh part material 0 dot texture text dot sub image sprite oops. I guess I can't do it here. It has to be. All right. So if I'm doing this right, then we should be able to do something like this. Types. I guess we'll say 10. We take a screen, draw. Right, and then this takes this. Okay, so player.camera draw. You got there in the end, and that's what matters. I guess. I suppose. I mean, like, I was struggling, dude. I don't even know if this will really work, right? I don't think we need the scene anymore, right? Because we don't actually use the scene for anything. Yeah, we don't. Okay. I don't think this is getting called. I don't think we're getting... I don't think it's calling the draw function for some reason. It is. Is the sprite invisible? No. Okay, well then... Oh, it's because this is always visible. Okay. Alright, sprite's not there. I'm nervous. Let's see if this even begins to work. Yeah, it doesn't, dude. Oh! He's there. He's just behind. Oh, he's down there. He's down there. Everybody. He's there. He's right there. Frame. Look at the beaut of a sprite. That's such a beautiful sprite. Wow, dude, look at that. Clean. It's not perfect. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. But it's clean. He's not flipping right. You know, the blending is incorrect. All, there's problems. Don't get me wrong. There's problems with this. Oh, you saw that like zoom out and how it's like he's always the same size on screen, dude. He's big. He's too big. But this is overall like what I was going for. I think he's too big. Yeah, the sprite looks crisp, dude. That's good. That's exactly what we're looking for. Let's see. Can we make this? I think we need to zoom in a little bit, or make him smaller. So we can try. We might be able to do like this. Not sure if this will look right. He's tiny. He's a tiny little guy. Tiny little guy. Let's see. So if I want him to be that size, resize width and height. 640, 360. 16.9. This is interesting because this is now mixing two different like perspectives together. It might be easier to just like force 640 by 360. Something like that. So it's always the same size. Let's see. So now in order for it to look even crisper, we can't scale him down. So we probably want to keep him at the same size and then just zoom out. Oh, zoom in. Interesting. So I guess we could zoom out, or we could have a more aggressive field of view and zoom in. Something like that. This is gonna be interesting. I think. Oh, he's way too small. This is cool though. Like I think it's definitely like I think there's definitely some utility in this. Yeah, if I could keep him crisp and the game looked like this, yeah, I think this would look really good. He's big though, isn't he? Oh no, I guess this is 32 by 32 in this. Yeah, okay. So he might need to be like 16 by 16 then. Interesting. This is interesting. So what if we sized him down? Yeah, like tiny. I think I had the, let me see if I have the original sprites. I'm not sure if I do. Yeah, I don't think I do. Let me see. I want to see if I have the original sprites to see how they would look here. I don't think I do, but let me see. Or no, I think I do, but I'm not sure if I want to take the time to do it. Sopu says, looks really good. I'm guessing this is made using Tetra 3D. Yeah, it is. That's what we were struggling. I was struggling for the past 2 hours, basically implementing a system that allows a 2D sprite to be drawn in 3 dimensions at 100% scale. So no matter how the camera moves or zooms or anything, he's always going to be exactly where, like, perfectly sized on screen. I'm not even sure if I'm going to keep it for this game, but there's definitely utility for it, especially if you have a really fixed perspective game like Final Fantasy Tactics, you know, kind of something like that, like an isometric game, or overhead. You could really want your sprites to be like, you know, certain sizes on screen, or to just not skew really heavily. And I think this is a really good thing. It just doesn't look that good here because I think it's just too big. And if we zoom in to the point where it's no longer an issue, then you can't see very much of the screen. So I'm not sure if I'll keep this, or at the very least, I might keep it, but it might be more of an end result kind of thing, as opposed to something that I, you know, leave in during development, because it's like, well, you know, you don't know how, like, I'm still kind of working on the gameplay and stuff. I don't really need the sprite to be overly, like, you know, this is already tweaking it a lot so that he's like a consistent size on screen, and that's a lot of effort to put in just for something that's just, it's not that critical. Like, it's more critical that the game feels good and that everything is spaced correctly. Although this does look pretty good. No, I'm looking at it. Like, this actually looks, obviously it's flipping is broken, but like, this does look like awfully crisp. And I'm not sure if like a traditional engine would be able to do this. Well, yeah, you could. You would render your sprite to a texture and then draw that on screen. But it's a 3D. It's 3D though. That is kind of different. It's not just a normal like sprite. It's 3D. So like it's in three-dimensional space. But it's in three-dimensional space, but it doesn't change size. That's the thing I think it's a very weird technique, or a very weird effect, that I'm not sure people would even really pick up on. But I think you might play it and be like, this game looks awfully crisp, and it's like, it's something else. Other games that use this technique, I feel like PS1 games that mix 2D and 3D might have. Or I would say maybe those specifically because of the 2D, because I feel like those games use 2D more, like Final Fantasy Tactics or games like that. But in addition, I kind of feel like with restricted, like heavily restricted perspectives, like isometric games or top-down games, which were kind of featured heavily on PlayStation 1. Those kind of games might have tried mixing 2D and 3D more heavily, but I feel like their mixing 2D and 3D was just drawing 2D sprites on top of the background, and they didn't usually have 3D objects like intersect or get in front of or behind like that, where it's like, oh yeah, this is a standard 3D object, but it's really crisp. Well, no, I can't say that. I think that those games specifically might have had something like this. Like, this doesn't feel out of the ordinary for a PlayStation 1, I don't think. And just perfect sprites. Perfect sprites. Yeah, so this I feel like this is like, this was kind of a wash in terms of like whether I'm going to go with this or not. There's definitely upsides to this. It definitely looks cool and all that. But at the same time, I'm not sure if I'm going to need it. But I feel like if you have like a Pokemon-like game or some kind of RPG that's top down with 2D characters, you'll probably definitely like that. I feel like would really benefit from something like this, because in a constricted overhead view, you would end up with characters who are skewed vertically, and I think that that's really something that it wouldn't look very good. Like, either it would skew vertically, or you would have sprites that intersect like this, like they intersect on their corners, and there's a little intersection here, but I feel like the sphere that comprises the bounds for this object is kind of small. So I feel like there's utility for this that's a little bit unique. Faz Pazarino says, did you just implement billboards in Tetra? Kind of. No, billboards, I implemented billboards in Tetra 3D before. That's not anything new, but rather this is a special ability to draw sprites in 3 dimensions. So it's a 2D sprite that's drawing in 2 dimensions, but it's clipping, it's drawing in a 3D position. So, it's following the car is moving and the sprite is there as well. But then in addition, it also cuts off as though it were in 3D space. So, when it's behind something, you can't see the the car isn't on top of the object. You can see the lantern here like cuts off your view of the car. The real utility of this is that the sprite is always 100% drawn. Like the sprite is never drawn like skewed or scaled. It's always very crisp on screen. Somehow I kind of feel like I kind of feel like as I'm working on this and as I'm playing the game, I kind of feel like this is just the way the game should look. Like maybe I will use this because I'm thinking like if I were playing a game, and let's say I was making a game like Pac-Man, right? Like Pac-Man's size dictates the size of his character and the size of the cell and the size of the maze, all of that, and the size of the ghosts and the pack pellets and everything. All of that goes together. If you were to take Pac-Man and scale him up arbitrarily by 1.2 in size, it wouldn't look right. Like it wouldn't feel right. It wouldn't look right. Even if you like, well, let's like make everything 1.2 bigger, etc., etc. It's like, well, but if you have Pac-Man and he is one pack, you know, he is in a perfect size, that means that all of the cells, all of the rest of the game is automatically going to be right because he's at his 100% size, right? So in other words, if the character in my game is drawn at 100% and he's 32 by 32 as an example, then by definition, the game will feel good if I zoom out to the point where he feels like he inhabits one cell of space, and then I kind of solve my own problem. It's kind of a weird backwards way to do it, because it's like, if I know my character is 16 by 16, but then I kind of like move the field around, move the camera around and all that, now it's like, well, how big should it be? And you know, how much room should you have? And what does the game look like? But if you know, well, my character is 16 by 16 and he's one cell big. So if you start there where he's 100% on the screen and he's one cell in size, now you're like, okay, well, that kind of restricts my capabilities. It's like saying, how big should Sonic be on screen? It's like, well, he should be as big as his sprite is. How big should Mario be on screen? They should be as big as their sprites are. So once you look at it from that perspective, now it's not as like now I'm thinking in screen sizes as opposed to thinking in pixels or thinking in cells, where it's like, you know, let's zoom out a little bit more to let you see more of the screen. Let's zoom out a little bit more so you can see more of the game field. Now it's like, well, if the character's too small, then make the screen like 30% larger so that he's still 100% and you just see more. It's interesting. Like it's different. It's different. This entire like thought process is different compared to what I'm used to. But like, I can't deny that this looks really good. Like this looks really crisp. People might, yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird in a good way. Like if I want to see more, I don't move the camera out. I go to the game and make the screen bigger. So now it's 960 by 180, 360, or 540. Yeah. So now I see a little bit more, but the character should still be, yeah, so he's still 32 by 32. So now I might zoom in. I was about to say that about zooming with the sprite 100% by default. Yeah, because I'm like I never really thought about it, because it's like, you know, when you're working with 3D, it's just like, you know, when you're working with 3D, what you see is just what you get. You don't really think about it. Let's move it a little bit. What you see is what you get. And you're, you know, thinking more so, I guess I need to zoom out rather. Yeah, not zoom in. Try that. There we go. Oh, that's so crisp. Oh, that's crisp. Oh, that is. Oh, that is crisp. Oh, that is like, that's just couldn't be crisper, dude. People are gonna be like, how did he do this? I'm pretty sure people are gonna be like, how did he do this? Hold on. We gotta know, how did he do this? Because it's in 3D, but it's just a 2D sprite. Like, it's clearly a 2D sprite. Like, extremely heavily a 2D sprite. Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. This is just, it's a completely different way of thinking about like the playfield. I like it. I think I might keep it. I might keep it like this. Looks way too, yeah, that's interesting. All right. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this actually. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. Happy with the way everything is shaping up. It's not the, you know, there's definitely what's the word? Like, it's definitely downsides to, you know, it's not perfect, but it does look pretty good. So he's bigger now, I see, because the game is big. I see. Interesting. The game's the same. Yeah, so it's just interesting because it's like when you're working in 3D, it's easy to completely forget about the size of your character, the size of your sprites, the scale that you're working with, and just kind of be drawing and making assets and stuff. But I feel like this makes me think a lot more heavily about, you know, how big is the character on screen, how big do I want him to be on screen, that kind of stuff. So like I might go back and like revisit, I don't know, maybe Pac-Man, and be like, how big is Pac-Man on the screen in the game board, and then try to model it kind of similarly, where I choose a resolution where the character is roughly as large as he is in Pac-Man, as Pac-Man is in Pac-Man. Although you move faster in this, so it can't be the same size. You have to be able to see more. But I think the core gameplay is pretty. Yeah, screen resolution. Well, it's not just that, you know, you're taking into account screen resolution, but it's also that, like, when you're working with 3D, you don't really have to worry about screen resolution, because it's like, well, you know, it's a 3D game, so, you know, how big my assets are is basically irrelevant, because I can zoom in or out. I can make them bigger or smaller, and I can zoom in the camera or zoom out the camera. But when the sprite is going to be 32 by 32 on screen, that kind of changes things. That kind of changes how you approach, you know, development and all that stuff. Yeah, this is good. I'm glad I implemented this. This is a cool feature. I wasn't sure how I would do it. It took a lot of thinking, but at the end of the day, I mean, you know, at the end of development, the result is really good. Like, it looks really crisp, really clean. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. I've been SolarLune. It's been fun. It's been longer than I would have liked. 3 hours. But yeah, it's been fun. And thank you very much for watching. If you want to support development, please check out Patreon. Please check out my itch page, my Steam page, master plan. Please check that out for planning out game projects and things like that. And Fez Prazerino says, I see how handy it will be for you, especially with Iquia. Yeah, I think when you start mixing 2D and 3D, and especially if your perspective is one that has height, and you're drawing with height, you're drawing characters or objects with height, I feel like it's gonna be kind of sick once you get there. Because most games that mix 2D and 3D, it's just 2D planes, and it's like, okay, it's a 2D plane. You know, as you walk by, you can see the object like skewing, but it's rare to like have a 3D world where the 2D objects don't skew as you move, but they still move in with perspective, or you know, they move through space as you would expect, but they don't skew, they don't deform, and they're always like visually parsable. This means that you can't like zoom in or out really well because it breaks the illusion. It won't look very good, but there's still some utility for this, especially if you do like icons on a map or something like that. You'll probably want something like this where the sprites always are the same size, regardless of whether you zoom in or out. They're always, you know, whatever size they are. So there's definitely some utility for this, even outside of like big game projects. It's also useful for UI. But yeah, this is kind of wild. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. It's been real. I'll catch you guys on the flip side, and I hope you enjoyed watching me struggle with basic math. All right, I'll catch you later. See ya.